Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. Today's question is, how can I keep to my New Year's resolution? So I'm recording this after Christmas and just before the New Year, so I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and I wish you all a Happy New Year. And also that you do keep to these New Year's resolutions that you have set yourself. Now, the resolutions usually involve either giving something up that's unhealthy for us, whether it's a physical unhealthiness like an addiction to cigarettes or alcohol or even drugs, or you might have an unhealthy diet that you wish to change, or otherwise it's usually a resolution to do something positive. To take up a new hobby or to adopt a more positive way of thinking or decide to do something proactive like change your career that you have not done before and you want to start the new year off fresh with a more positive perspective. So this is all good, all positive things to change and adjust in your life. But when something's ingrained in a habit, it is hard to change. And it's hard to adopt new habits that might come in conflict with our more established behaviour patterns, mindsets and attitudes. So here we're looking at what might block you from keeping your resolution, what might sort of take you off that train of self-improvement. And so what to watch out for, but also helpful advice on how to keep your New Year's resolution, and also a little motivational message from the Angel Answers Oracle. So today I'm using just the traditional Universal Rider-Waite Tarot. I'm also using the Wild Wood Tarot and the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. So we're going to make our options of 1, 2 and 3. I shall put the time stamp to each of these 3 readings in the description box. I will also put my email address in case any of you would like to book a private reading with me. Obviously I will do sort of a reading on the year ahead, 2019, for those of you that would like to buy one of those readings from me. But I'm also willing to do the more general readings on love, career and like removing blockages and gaining clarity and all that. So yeah, just send me an email on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com, and I will also include a link to my Instagram account in case any of you would like to follow me on there. But otherwise, I want you to close your eyes, think about your New Year's resolution and what you want to achieve from it, and what you feel might be a temptation for you to stop you from sticking to your New Year's resolution. Take a few deep breaths and make your choice. Don't overthink it. Trust your first instinct. Don't doubt yourself and think that maybe one of the other sets will give you a better option. Trust your first instinct. If you need a little bit more time, then please press pause, because I am now going to be moving on to the first reading. Thank you. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, this is your reading. So these are the 3 cards that show us what is most likely to sort of derail you from keeping your New Year's resolution. So we have the Empress, the Tower and the Queen of Wands. Okay then. So straight off, for some of you it's going to be your mother. So I mean, if it's a case that you live at home, and I mean a lot of people are living at home with their parents for a lot longer recently, a lot of my generation, because they can't afford to move out, money's tight, housing's expensive, etc. So if you're living at home and you want to say change your diet, for instance, you might find that your mother might be a barrier to that, because she's Mothers always want you to eat certain foods, and you're sort of, I want to lose weight, and then no, you're not eating enough, and all that kind of stuff. And some of you, this does represent your mum. Your mum's going to. For others of you, it's not your mother. It could be some sort of new project, new creativity, because it's fertility, new births. I mean, some of you, a small portion of you who are physically of an age to do that, and physically capable and are in a sexual relationship, yes, it might be a pregnancy, but don't, you know, that's not going to be all of you. And you know, if you're trying to get pregnant, that might be, but it doesn't necessarily mean a pregnancy. And I'm saying that because of the Tower, because it might be an unexpected pregnancy, an unplanned pregnancy, or a shock to you. But I think there's going to be something that's going to not rock your foundations, but sort of be a bit of a surprise to you, and it involves the idea of creativity, fertility, abundance. So, I mean, in a positive sense, you might find out something wonderful that sort of fills your heart with joy and makes you feel abundant, and you're sort of like, why do I want to go out on a diet when I've suddenly, you know, got this brilliant thing that I need to celebrate? And so it's sort of a shocking moment derails your New Year's resolution. And we've got the Queen of Wands. This is interesting. I might pull some more cards on this one, because we've also got the Queen of Wands, which is obviously a woman of fiery nature. She's fiery, she's confident, she's vibrant, she's warm-hearted, she is caring, passionate. And it could represent, with the Empress and the Queen of Wands together, it could really represent a new opportunity that sort of you weren't expecting, and it's come out of nowhere. It doesn't have to be a bad thing that's going to derail your New Year's resolution. It can be a new opportunity of abundance and passion and drive, and just something great happening, and you're sort of like, forget the New Year's resolution, I've got this. I'm just going to pull another couple of cards. Or a card. The World. Yeah, you're going to have an opportunity. I think you might be presented with a new opportunity, some of you. Not all of you, because it's a general reading, remember, but there might be a sense of fulfillment in something else, something that you need to consider, because this is really going off and thinking about something. You've got to go off and ponder something. You've literally been offered something, and you've got all these other cups to consider. So it might be an emotional offer you weren't expecting, and it might just derail you off your New Year's resolution. See, I don't think it's a negative distraction. And that's with the World and the Tower. Two important major arcana cards are there. Oh, 3 and the Empress. Sorry, I'm going nuts. So you've got 3 major arcanas there. I think there's something just going to happen, and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so much more interesting in getting more exercise and taking up yoga, or well, I mean, if you're trying to give up something negative like alcohol, or you're eating very poorly, very unhealthily, or you're caught in a situation that you really want out of, you know, keep to that. Anything that's going to improve your life, you must keep to. But this exciting thing, if your New Year's resolution is just something small, like take up a new hobby, as I said, or you've always wanted to write that novel that's been your passion project since you were a teenager, you might find that something else is going to come along, and sort of you're going to be there like, okay, this is such an opportunity that I can't miss. And I really do feel it offers you something, because we've got the Empress in the World here. It's just going to come out of left field. You're just not going to know where this has come from. This is so interesting. I've got to be honest, I was thinking that the blockages, the things that would derail you, might be things like finding it difficult to give up like sugar or something. I didn't think that would be a wonderful opportunity that would derail you from your New Year's resolution. but I'm quite happy to send this message to you. For a lot of you, even if it doesn't manifest in exactly a creative project or something that's, you know, fulfillment, it could be, yeah, I mean, some of you could be, I just feel that you're going to be offered something that you weren't expecting to be offered. And it's going to make you feel great. And I feel it's probably an opportunity that you should seriously explore before dismissing. Even if it derails, maybe does delay your New Year's resolution. It doesn't have to end it, but it might delay it. But you certainly need to explore it. Because I think there's just going to be, for some of you, it's a creative project or an opportunity to grow something in a warm-hearted way, which is always nice to see. Yeah, so don't be too scared of the Tower moment there. The Tower isn't always a bad card. It's scary to see it because it's so dramatic, but it isn't always a dramatic card. So I've got more cards than I anticipated here, so let me just shove these up, even though I might cut them off a bit. I'll leave because I've got 3 cards on how to maintain the momentum of your New Year's resolution, the Wildwood Tarot. So I mean, obviously if you might decide to defer the New Year's resolution to next year or something, but we'll see how that manifests. But we have Decision, the Two of Bows. I said that. Brilliant. Two of Stones, Challenge, King of Vessels, Heron. Okay then, so alright, so you've got a decision to make. Ultimately you can decide to follow your New Year's resolution or explore this other thing, this other opportunity that's going to come your way. And this is fiery, the Queen of Wands. The bows here is the fire element in this deck. Now, is he on fire because he's touching the wands, or are the wands on fire because he's touching them? So whichever opportunity you take, you will push the fire onto the opportunity. I mean, you might be able to do both. You might find that actually you can do the both of them in a certain way, but I think one will take precedence over the other. So for instance, as an example, for some of you, you might be offered a new job opportunity, or the opportunity to travel because it's the world, or to go somewhere, to do something, and it's really exciting. But if you do it, you might not be able to go on a weekend that you booked to learn a new skill, or explore a hobby, or do something else. And you think, well, my New Year's resolution is to learn yoga, so I want to go on this retreat to learn yoga. But this opportunity to travel, maybe with somebody like your mother or somebody that you feel warm and connected to, I'd rather go on that trip with them. So I'll still plan to go to my yoga retreat, but I'll leave it till later on in the year or even next year, because you're not giving up on the yoga retreat, but you're putting forward a relationship with someone else or this other opportunity. There's also a challenge. So to keep to the New Year's resolution is possibly going to be a challenge, but you need to meet it. You know, this keep to the New Year's resolution, don't keep to the New Year's resolution, and you're battling within yourself. But you can do it. So if this is like for me personally, it's eat the biscuits, eat the cookies. No, don't. You're trying to lose weight. Don't eat the biscuits and the cookies. I have to have that battle with myself where I say I don't need to eat the biscuits, I just want to. They taste so nice. And I have to distract myself from that. But you might find that actually maybe because there's this distraction, of this possibly more exciting opportunity, more exciting thing going on that you've got to ponder. It's just distracting you from your New Year's resolution. So you've got to make the decision. I feel the challenge to meet is, do you keep to the New Year's resolution, or do you decide that there's something better going on? Because we've got the King of Vessels, the Heron, which is sort of sticking to your plans. Sticking to it. Emotional maturity. It's the Vessels, it's the Cups, emotion. He's emotionally mature. He's got a balance between his head and his heart. And he does what's right. So you've got to do what's right and stick to a plan. So I feel actually you probably could just choose whichever one's the best for you. You probably would be all right. A mess of these cards. You'd probably be all right, but you've got to decide. I feel if you decide to adjust your plans, you'd probably be all right. Although it's saying like stick to your guns and whatever, and you know, there's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You've got a lot to consider, and you've got a decision to make, and there's a challenge. There's a challenge within yourself. Do you stick to your New Year's resolution, or do you pursue this other opportunity? For each of you as individuals, it will be different. It won't always be the same. For some of you, you need to ignore this opportunity and stick to the New Year's resolution. For others of you, this is such a wonderful opportunity that you really shouldn't miss out on it, and the New Year's resolution is not serious enough to pursue it at the cost of the opportunity that's going to be presented to you. You know, for some of you, let's say this does manifest as an unplanned pregnancy or a surprise pregnancy that's happened sooner than you've anticipated, and you decided to go on a diet to lose a stone, or you lose a few inches off your waist, and you've got an entire plan of exercise and diet to follow for the next 6 months, and you find out that you've unexpectedly become pregnant, and you think, well, I still want to do that, but you can't go on a crash diet whilst you're pregnant. It's not healthy for you or the baby. You've got to eat nutritious, good foods that will provide you both with all the vitamins and minerals that you need for a successful pregnancy. So you've got to consider what you're going to do and how you're going to have it manifest, and that might be a challenge if you've really set it in your mind that you're going to lose weight, especially since you're going to gain a lot of weight with a pregnancy. That's just one example. I'm really not predicting pregnancy for everybody watching this video. Please don't take it that way. It's probably just going to be a small minority of you that actually manifests in that way in the early stages of the year. It's more likely to be something creative or something that makes you feel abundant or is an opportunity to create abundance in your life. So here we go. This is your Angel Oracle card, and it's your motivational message, your bit of final piece of advice. And we've got compromise. That said, wasn't it? Compromise. So yeah, there's a lot of compromising to be thought about for those of you that chose option 1 with your New Year's resolution, keeping to it, because I really do feel that something surprising is going to happen involving a creation of some sort, you know, some sort of passionate energy, and you've really got to think about it. So yeah, that's it. That's all I can see in this reading. For those of you that chose option 1, I wish you all the best of luck. Please leave me comments if you were drawn to option 1, and let me know if this resonates with you. Even a few weeks or a few months after you've watched this video, let me know how it's manifested for you, whether this was it a new opportunity or whatever. I'll be really interested to see how this works for you. Please leave me a comment and let me know, because yeah, I just wish you all the best of luck. Please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening to my reading. Take care. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 2, here is your reading. So these cards represent what's most likely to derail you from keeping your New Year's resolution, a blockage, an obstacle, whatever. It was meant to be 3 cards, but 4 fell out as I was shuffling, so I took them. So we've got the Fool, the Seven of Wands. Justice. Oh, I'm not going to have enough space. Let me just move that across. Move that out of the way. And the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so what's really going to be distracting to you is that you possibly will get tired of it quite early on and want to just stop and do a new thing. Sort of light-hearted energy is the Fool. Want to go off on an adventure, not worried about the pitfalls. So some of you are not taking it very seriously. I mean, this really depends on how serious your New Year's resolution is. If it's a case of you want to walk to work every day, you might suddenly wake up and think, nah, I don't want to go to, I'm going to take the car or something like that. It's really, I don't think you're taking it too seriously, a lot of you. For others of you, something more exciting comes along, maybe, distracts you, and you sort of think, oh, this is much more interesting. I'm feeling much, really intense energy for that. For others of you, it's just going to be too hard. You're really going to find it a nightmare to defend your position, to maintain it. You know, if it's a case of your New Year's resolution requires a change in your diet or something, or a change in your behaviour, you might find that everything's such a routine, and particularly in your dealings with other people. Like, for instance, if you're a smoker and you decided your New Year's resolution is that you're really going to take it seriously to quit smoking, and all your friends smoke, well, you're going to find that as the odd one out, they're all there offering you cigarettes, and you're like, no, I don't smoke anymore. And you're holding them off. And if they're, you know, in the UK, you can't smoke in sort of working areas. So there's anywhere that's considered a workplace, you're not allowed to smoke a cigarette. You have to leave the building. So, for instance, pubs and bars and clubs and that, you can't smoke in there. So if you want to smoke a cigarette, you have to leave and stand outside, and they all stand under these umbrellas with little heaters in the winter. And so you might find that, you know, they're all out there smoking and you're with them because you're friends, and all you can do is smell their cigarette smoke, and it's tormenting you, and it's a real battle. It's a real battle for you because of the temptation. So there might be a lot of temptation for a lot of you. If this requires giving up as a New Year's resolution, there will be lots of temptation. If you're trying to be proactive and change your behaviour in a different way that doesn't require giving something addictive up, or maybe that you want to take on something like you want to go back to school, to university, get more qualifications, start off your own business, you're going to find it a bigger challenge than you thought. There's going to be perhaps more competition than you thought, but certainly lots of people with their own opinions and advice on it, and you're going to feel really defensive, like, get back off. And it might feel a bit overwhelming because this is really about defending something, defending against something. We also have the Justice card, which is interesting because it's sort of the law of give and take, karma. Actions have consequences. So you might find that as a result of your New Year's resolution, you don't like what you get at the end of it. So again, to go back to cigarettes, just as an example, not all of you will clearly give up cigarettes, but you won't like the withdrawal, perhaps. You know, you've taken an action and there's effect, and you don't like the withdrawal and the symptoms of going cold turkey, perhaps for some of you, from giving up on your addiction. Or you don't like the effect it has on your social life, or people treating you differently, or you don't like the price you have to pay, because that's the law, that you commit a crime and you face the consequences of committing a crime. Well, the justice reflects on what you do. You get something back for it, just rewards. So you might not like what you get from your New Year's resolution. And I think it's just going to take a lot of hard work. I really do feel that those of you that chose option 2 are more like giving up on something that's not good for you than pursuing something that is good for you. I don't know why, it's just the combination of cards. It just feels that it's really hard work for you to give up on whatever it is that you're giving up on. If it's not a case of giving up and you're like, no, actually I am just trying to study more, get more qualifications, get back into the workplace, build up my business, something like that, it's harder work than you anticipated, and it's going to be a long, hard slog, and you're just going to have to be relentless and carry on with it and not give up. And I think this sense of it being a long journey full of consequences that you weren't anticipating, a lot of battles that you weren't anticipating, and this desire to sort of go off and forget about it, I think those are going to be your biggest barriers. I think it's just going to be a lot of hard work for you that you're not anticipating, but you know now that your New Year's resolution will involve an awful lot of hard work on your part, and it is going to be a tough journey. So it doesn't mean that you don't do it, it just means that you're aware when the going gets hard that you keep at it and you don't give up, because that's the card of not giving up, defending your position but not giving up. So these 3 cards here represent what you can do in order to make sure you keep to your New Year's resolution. We've got the Queen of Bows, the hare. We've got the 3 of Vessels, joy. Ace of Bows, spark of life. Okay, so this is good. This is good because what you've got to do is show yourself compassion. Queen of Bows, hare. Got the Queen of Wands, I think, in this deck. But she's warm-hearted, she's compassionate, she has empathy, she understands where things are going on. She's not quite the Queen of Cups, but she's certainly quick-witted and adaptive. So you've got to accept that what you're doing is going to impact on you, that you're going to feel bad at points, especially if you are giving something up. You're going to have cravings. You know, you're going to have to change your behaviour, and you're going to want to slip into your more comfortable behaviours. You know, if you're used to doing something at a certain point of day with certain people, and you're sort of saying, well, that's not healthy for me, so I'm going to stop, it's going to be tough. So every time that you do manage it and succeed, you've got to sort of be proud of yourself and acknowledge that it's a tough journey and you're doing it. You know, you've got to have compassion, but for yourself. Three of Vessels, joy. I think the support of your friends will be important. You probably can turn to them much more than you think, maybe. For some of you might not realise how you can turn to your friends and your loved ones. Three of Vessels, joy. You know, you've got to do things that make you feel good, you know, even if it's just as a distraction. You know, like say, for instance, if it is cigarettes or something that you're trying to stop, or foods. I mean, I have a sweet tooth. I'm always trying to not eat so many biscuits, and sweet things are just an endless temptation. So when it's going really bad, I just think I must distract myself, and I'll do something else to distract myself from the urge to go and eat lots of biscuits and chocolate and things like that. So for you, that might represent your friends, like, oh, let's go out and see a film or something where I don't have to think about what I'm craving or what's not going very well because of this sense of battle. And they might go out with you and hang out with you and have fun and celebrate. Because they're cranes, there's a sense of movement as well, so you might find that you go out for long walks, or even decide that you're going to focus on like a travel, like planning a lovely holiday or something. Yeah, I think the support of friends really just sort of always stands out to me with the Three of Vessels, the Three of Cups, in whatever form. And I think that's what's going to help you. Even if it's just a phone call and a chat, or a few text messages to say, oh, I'm feeling really low and I really want to smoke a cigarette, eat a burger, or drink a beer or something, or do something that's unhealthy for you that you're trying to stop doing. And if you contact them and say, oh, I'm feeling quite weak at the moment, they'll probably come and say, no, don't give up. I believe in you. You know, you can do it. So yeah, friendship. We also have the Ace of Bows. So we've got the Queen and the Ace. Spark of life. And I feel for this reading, one of the meanings in this card is the most pertinent, which is adaptability. In this, a fire has been started, but with an arrow and the bows being used to create the friction to start a fire, you're going to need to adapt. This could be your routine. Oops, sorry, I dropped the card. This could be your routine that you need to change. It could be your mental attitude. It could be a case of anywhere that's deeply associated with whatever it is that your New Year's resolution involves. You might need to avoid them for a bit. Change definitely your mental attitude and the way you do things, because that's the whole point of the resolution, to change. But you're really going to have to adapt. So you might find that you might need to innovate in a different way and be original. Remember that this woman's the Queen of Bows is quite quick-witted. You know, hares have to be quite quick-witted. They're a prey animal. If they don't pay attention to the signs and sort of react to them quickly, they're going to end up as some sort of eagle's dinner or some fox's, you know, tea. So yeah, so you've got to pay attention and adapt quickly to the circumstances around this New Year's resolution, so that you can stay on top of it. Otherwise you might not, because of the challenges it provides, you might not stick to it, because it's going to be such hard work for you, and it's really going to have a big impact on your life, hopefully in a very positive way. I would really want that for you. So if you can stick to it, remember the Ace of Bows is a spark of life. It's a spark of new life for yourself. If you keep focused on what you're going to get once the New Year's resolution is sort of completed and has become part of your life permanently, you will be able to keep your focus, because you'll know what your end goal is and what your reward is at the end of it. But your friends can support you in that. So our Angel Oracle card, this is sort of your motivational message, a final message for you, and perfect timing. So this is a time for you to do this New Year's resolution, to stick to it. Yeah, doesn't matter how hard it is and how much you want to give up, it's perfect timing. And I feel that for those of you that when you do complete the New Year's resolution and it's established as part of yourself, whatever you're giving up or taking up, it will involve perfect timing, that perhaps you get the rewards. But yeah, you're meant to do this year. You're meant to do this New Year's resolution this year, not next year or in a couple of years' time. Now, so those of you that chose option 2, that's your reading. Thank you very much for listening to it. Please let me know in the comments section if this has resonated with you, if it has helped you at all, and let me know if you do stick to your New Year's resolution and if it improves your life. So yeah, please take very good care of yourself. I wish you all the best of luck in keeping to your New Year's resolution, and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose option 3, here is your reading. So these 3 cards represent what is going to provide the greatest challenges to you keeping your New Year's resolution. So what's your blockage and temptations? So we have the Moon, and we have the 3 of Wands and the Star. So this is actually quite easy. You're just going to be too distracted by other things, basically. You're always going to be howling at the moon. Oh, that's way more interesting than doing my New Year's resolution. Whether it's giving up something like an addiction or unhealthy behaviours, mindsets, or that you're trying to do something like follow a dream, because it is the Star and the Moon. You're just going to be distracted. 3 of Wands, looking out, new opportunities, looking to see if your ship's coming. Some of you might be constantly, you do something towards your New Year's resolution and then you're immediately checking. You know, like when people post something on social media, 5 minutes later they're checking to see how many likes they've got. something along those lines towards your New Year's resolution. So you're looking to see how it's developed. Have I got the payback yet? If it's like you're trying to do something to save money, you'll be checking your bank account every day to see how high the how much money you've got in there, and so on and so forth. But the star, you're really hopeful, you're really wishing for something really positive, lovely, bright, wonderful card. Yeah, you're constantly wishing on a star, looking ahead, thinking, you know, what's the next best thing? Just, it's basically the same thing. Distraction, distraction, distraction. You just got to be too distracted, you know. You know, the typical idea of the kid that should be studying, but instead they suddenly notice something out of the window and it's just like a leaf fluttering across the pavement, but they're just distracted by it because it's considerably more interesting than what they've set themselves to do, like study for an exam. Whatever your New Year's resolution is, you're going to struggle to pay attention to it because somebody's going to come and say to you, do you want to hang out? Do you want to go and see this film? Do you want to go and go to this concert? Have you read this book? Have you listened to this podcast? Or do you want to meet up? Do you just want to go out for something to eat? Sending you text messages, and you're just going to be constantly, you know, this is more exciting. Yeah. You're just going to struggle to stay focused on it, and that's the thing that's really going to stop you from keeping your New Year's resolution. I mean, for some of you, there might be a new opportunity. I mean, we've got the Moon and the Star, two major arcana cards here. The Moon, subconscious, our innermost souls, and the Star, a dream, a wish, a desire, beautiful things, ethereal, sensual, that kind of thing. So you might find that following your New Year's resolution upchurns a few things in your deep subconscious that find that they're coming to the fore, and they might present new opportunities for you, new insight. And you might find that that is just such a distraction to you that you can't carry on with it because it's doing, in essence, too much for you, for some of you. But I think mainly the main message is distraction. It's just going to distract you too much. Too many other interesting things going on for you. You know, like if you're going to try, you say, I'm going to learn a language and I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day learning a new language. You won't do it. You'll suddenly go to bed and think, oh, I never did that. And it was because you were watching an extra YouTube video, because you got a text message on your phone and you looked at the text message or the WhatsApp, and then you decided that you'd go on Instagram and then on Twitter and Facebook, and then you had a bit of a play of your game, and then, oh dear, my battery's run down and I haven't done my language lesson. Or, you know, anything could happen that will distract you. So these three represent what's going to keep you on track, the advice to keep you focused on your New Year's resolution. So we have the Knight of Stones, which is horse, which is the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Stones, which is skill. And we have the Knight of Bows, which is a fox, which is like the Knight of Wands. So what's going to keep you focused on your New Year's resolution is just working at it. The Knight of Pentacles, you just got to keep going. The horse keeps running. So you've just got to carry on whenever you feel that you're getting distracted or waylaid from your project, your New Year's resolution. You've got to get back to it. No, this horse is not going to let anything derail him from getting where he's got to go. He's on his course, and that's what you need to do. Be firm and tough with yourself and accept that it at points will be boring, whatever your New Year's resolution is. You also need to develop your skill set. This will obviously manifest differently for all of you. For some of you, you need a certain set of skills for your New Year's resolution, so you need to read more books on the subject, or some online courses even, or you need to go back to school for some of you, but develop a skill set, and it suggests quite a varied skill set. But either way, you need to either use your skills that you have, that you know you have, that will support you in this New Year's resolution, or you need to start off on a core, like some sort of action that will allow you to develop your skills and stick to it. So if you can't literally go back to university or college or something, you know, there's lots of online courses that you can do. Maybe that in our modern era, there's lots of options for you to do, to learn new skills, and you should do it, because that will help your New Year's resolution, help you maintain it. We also have the Knight of Bows, the fox, and I really like foxes. This suggests that you just need to be innovative and a bit crafty, but also to keep moving. Some of you, for a small percentage of you, it's about a relocation of some sort. It doesn't mean moving to another country or another town unless that's what you want or it's what you feel you need to do. It's relocating something. And so for some of you, it can be as simple as, if your New Year's resolution involves like doing it on the weekend, like you're trying to create something, or you're trying to work towards something or give up something, what you need to do maybe is, instead of every Saturday morning going and getting a coffee and sitting there for 3 hours looking at your phone, you know, go there, have your coffee, but don't take your phone or anything, just take your notepad, and then you can write your book. Or if you always go to the same sort of restaurants but you're trying to eat healthily, you need to change the restaurants that you're visiting and go to ones that focus on healthier eating and a wider variety in the menu. You know, you can eat different foods. But about being crafty and sort of working, you know, thinking outside the box to solve your problem, you know, and re-strategizing. And it does involve a sense of a fox, when it sees it's in danger, will scarper off and hide somewhere, but it will like change its route and things. So you need to do that. You need to change how you're doing something in order to make a success of the New Year's resolution, and you will know how that manifests for you according to what it is you want to do. But something or somewhere that you are is not supporting the pursuit of this New Year's resolution. It could just mean shuffling up your schedule. So if you find that if you get there early enough, you'll just witter away the day, or that you can't develop the skill set where you are, you might need to relocate to develop the skill set. So if some of you want to study a particular course and there's nowhere locally that does it, be prepared to travel. It doesn't mean you need to go and move permanently. You might just find that on a Saturday you end up driving for a couple of hours to go somewhere to learn a particular skill, and you've got to be prepared to do it. We've got two sort of cards that represent movement and travel, really. Slow movement, fast movement. So here we have the Angel Oracle card, which represents a final motivational message for you, a positive message of encouragement. You're ready? Okay, there we go. Doesn't get any more, get simpler than that. You're ready. You're ready to fulfill the promise offered by this New Year's resolution. I really feel with this reading that the people that will be attracted to it are not trying to give something up necessarily, but are trying to achieve something, like develop a skill, like pursue a hobby or pursue a long-held dream, that they've always wanted to do something like record a song, write a poem, a book, pursue some sort of interest, and you just keep on getting distracted from it by other things, and you need to concentrate on it. And it's saying that you need to keep working at it, develop these skills, and perhaps change the way you do things. So if you find that there's something that always allows you to be distracted, Like the internet's a nightmare. It doesn't take an awful lot for you to go on YouTube, watch one video and end up watching 20, or to get swallowed up by social media and suddenly it's an hour later and you've got no time to do whatever it is that you're intending to do, and you need to stop that behaviour, but you are ready to do it. This is the right time for you to follow this New Year's resolution. So I wish you all the best of luck with it. I really want you to take very good care of yourself. I would appreciate it very much if you left me comments in the comment section letting me know if this reading resonates with you, if it makes any kind of sense to you, if you feel that it's helped you at all. And eventually, if you actually manage to keep to your New Year's resolution. Because I hope you do, and you don't get distracted. So yeah, so leave me a comment, please. Otherwise, yeah, thank you very much for listening to my reading, and goodbye.